Megabyte Doctor Who podcast.
Hello and welcome to the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast, episode 461. I'm Adam, and Doctor, that's my impression of Davros, and here is Robert Haynes.
To think I almost threw up everything for a fat, bald egotist like you.
Good quote. Don't need Kirby's now, because you're not going to get any better than that, are you, Kirby?
I cannot see. My vision is impaired. I cannot see.
And Kirby Bartlett Sloan.
I cannot see.
Yes, the birds on the show have deserted us. It's us boys to get on with doing it properly, innit, everyone? The lads can do it all right, I'll just say that myself. I've got a very big glass of ice water. Because what I should have said, I'm going to reintroduce the show. Hello and welcome to the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who Sweatcast. It's absolutely stonkingly hot here, and I have to sit in here with all this
What do you call hot?
Whatever the temperature is in here. I can tell. Hang on, have I got a temperature device in? No, I haven't. It's just very hot. All I can tell you is my T-shirt stuck to me, and I wouldn't normally be wearing a T-shirt. Oh, my microphone's gone up again. Hang on, I'm just correcting my microphone. It keeps moving, pointing itself up to the ceiling.
It's 90 degrees.
What is?
I just asked Alexa what the temperature was.
Yeah, okay. You've gone very quiet, Kirby. This is a podcast in which sound is quite important. It's an audio presentation.
Obviously, this microphone thing didn't work.
It's very quiet. But you're about the same quietness as Robert, so it should be all right.
He's sitting back from his podcast, from his microphone, isn't it?
I'm just saying, you need to
I have
to
a
speak
new
up
microphone. I'm playing around with settings.
Ooh.
Lillian Robbins says, are you also on TikTok Live? Well, do I not look exactly the same on TikTok than I do on Facebook? And Terry Marr says, good evening, everybody, which is almost like the famous song by Slade, which is Merry Christmas, everybody, yet it's not Christmas. Okay, right then. So this week we're going to be reviewing, hopefully fairly quickly, to be fair, Revelation of the Daleks.
Which we've done before. And
Susan
Did I do it?
AOL Meda says, hello, as our first ever hello on TikTok. Hello, everybody. Apart from Lillian's, obviously, she doesn't count because she watches us on Facebook. Right then, so this is a Doctor Who podcast. So the titles sequence... Pardon, are you trying to interrupt me then?
I said,
That's what you pay us for.
No, don't pay. I'm going to actually turn the volume up on you guys.
You're
really quiet. I'm turning you up. Never thought that would come. Actually turn Kirby up on the show. And apologies to the listeners to the show. I actually brushed my big fat belly against the microphone, so that'll sound like a sort of a shh sound. And Susan AOL Meda says, what is the from? The from? I presume the podcast. It's hang on, I've just watched a video of myself brushing my belly against the... Anyway, yes, if you go to Facebook and look up the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast, you'll find this being beamed live via myself. And around about Tuesday, the actual podcast itself will be released to the world. Adam. No, I haven't. I'm explaining to my TikTok followers.
Resurrection of the Daleks.
Revelation of the... I was just testing, Robert. Okay, I haven't got my bell on me.
I didn't notice.
I just noticed.
Yeah, okay. I got slightly glossed over the start of the show. Right, the show starts... this is Doctor Who, by the way. Starts with the TARDIS sort of materialising in a atmospheric-y, snowy, sort of misty environment, which I thought was pretty good.
Master?
Yes, dear?
It actually starts almost identically going into the planet as Caves of Androzani, because we are dealing with the same
It is quite
director.
Caves Androzani like, though, with the music, which I found very irritating.
Well, I believe it was the same composer for that as well.
But Isaki kept on sitting on the same chords on the keyboard.
But that entire opening, including the materialization of the TARDIS, is pretty much the same, except they're in the snowscape, which they didn't expect the snow. I mean, they got to the location which they had wrecked out and everything, and they woke up the next morning and there was snow, and they went, oh, okay, we still have to do this.
Oh, well, that's quite good then, isn't it? How lucky for the BBC. Susan AOL Meadow says, where is this from? She's asking where we're from. We're from Great Britain, and she's from Mexico. Mexico, isn't it? Mexico?
Ooh.
I'd like to go to Mexico, but it's a bit cooler there than it is here at the moment. Right then, I'd love to go. Do you know why I'd like to go to Mexico? I'd like to see all the Aztec stuff. Excuse me, Kirby, I'm talking over... You're talking over me. Right, where's my point deduction meter? Oh, I can't use that anymore. So our listeners would have known what I was saying.
Can I ask something?
What about Mexico? I don't know anything about Mexico.
No. Are we going to be doing You Won't Get This One tonight? Because
we're allowed to.
Mary's not here because Mary's not here.
Right. Can I point out this situation regarding You Won't Get This One? If you lot allow me to get through the this episode and the review of it, and we get through the feedback in a good piece of time, and I haven't dehydrated and turned into a little skeletal thing, then yes, there is a possibility of a quiz at the end of it. But it all depends on those things falling into place. Right. So the Doctor and Perry have arrived in a very cold environment. I do love the Doctor's cloak. Of course, it doesn't last long because it gets a bit of a stain on it later on. And my computer's jammed up. Anyway, so and they're just having a little bit of almost like a brother and sister relationship, and they sort of quite bickery. Yes.
I didn't listen back to our last time, so I won't be able to cheat.
Oh, you think we're going to get quiz questions on this episode? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Bad luck. Yeah. So. Meanwhile, then we cut to the tranquil repose.
Master.
Oh, God.
Which is the IBM building.
The blue cloak was partly Eric Sayward's idea because he was trying to cover up the stupid clown costume.
Oh, right, okay. He didn't like it then?
No.
All right, okay. Lillian Robin says, yay, quiz. Well, don't bank on it. I think we have got Kirby on the show this week, so the chance of the quiz actually happening quite small. I've got some stuff coming through on TikTok. No, I haven't. Right then. So, in tranquil repose, we've got the bloke from Keeping Up Appearances with a ginger wig on, which is very distinctive, Joe Bell. We've also got the woman who used to be in Upstairs Downstairs, and at the time I didn't think was a very good actress, but actually she's not too bad.
Janita Masson. She was actually in an Australian movie too, Princess Barry Mackenzie.
Thank you for that, Kirby. Robert?
Master, Joe Bell also, I'm sure that Alan T. Butcher will inform us of this.
Voyage of the Damned.
Is Mr. Copper.
Voyage of the Damned.
Basically the richest person on Earth.
In Voyage of the Damned?
Yes.
Yes.
Kylie Minogue.
That could have been made a lot shorter by he was just saying he was in Voyage of the Damned.
Yes.
So the chances of the quiz happening.
They refer to the Mr. Copper Foundation or just.
Kirby's just showing off.
Yeah, he's. I don't think he wants a quiz. Do you, Robert? Do you think he wants to have a quiz?
Well,
yes.
I need to be able to get in all the jabs I can since Ian's not on this week.
Well, don't bother me if there's no quiz, Kirby. If you'll know it's your fault if it doesn't happen. Right then. So she's clearly besotted with Joe Bell. God knows why, to be fair, but she is. I suppose it's one of those treat 'em bad and treat 'em mean and keep 'em keen, isn't it? That sort of scenarios.
Yeah.
And they're all wearing. The only thing they're lacking in the current climate is face masks, because they've got sort of gear on that's very sort of A&E, sorry, apart from their sort of little hats that seem to come out of the wardrobe of the Time Lords to a certain extent. However, the two beardy blokes, they're allowed to walk around without their hats on. One of the beardy blokes has been another Doctor Who stuff, hasn't he, Kirby? Here we go. He's been actually asked on this occasion.
Colin Spell. He was in the first Cyberman two-parter of the 10th Doctor era.
Okay, you just have to say it's Spall, by the way, Colin Spall.
Fine, whatever. Yes. He's a very nice guy. I enjoyed meeting him. And
he was on.
When I got his autograph, I made sure to get an autograph of from this story instead of from Cyberman's story.
Right.
And he really liked that because people only think of him now for the Cyberman.
Right. Okay. I forgot what I was going to say now.
Terry Miles.
What was I talking about?
On.
Colin Spall. Yeah. He was on that show with Christian Basil. And I was sort of offered him for FantasyCon as well. Just saying. And he did come across as a very nice chap. Right then. Meanwhile, the Doctor and Perry are sort of working their way through a forest, and this horrible-looking chap attacks the Doctor. The Doctor tries to use his... It's a shame he didn't use the same song that he did for Agador, when he had the swinging...
Yes.
That would have been...
He didn't have the little spinny thing. If he had the spinny thing, then he would have done it.
He didn't have the spinny thing, no. But anyway, so he tries to hypnotise Scabby Bloke, who then has a bit of a wrestle with him.
Seizure.
And then we... Pardon?
A roll in the snow.
Yeah. Terry Mars says, kettle's on. That must be in relation to you, Kirby, because it never would be sort of pointed out in my direction. Anyway, then we meet Alexis Sayle as the DJ, who's well over the top, but he was supposed to be. And he's watching all what's going on. What got me about this, what he's watching, is how come there just happened to be a camera right by Scabby Bloke's ear as he's lying on the floor?
Exactly.
I thought it was a bit weird that you'd actually put a camera in that angle. He just happened to be there right by the camera, unless he knew the camera.
Just like the camera that we were watching.
Exactly.
I don't know.
No, just like the camera that we've been watching, that same view.
Oh, okay. Oh, very good. Yes, okay. So you're basically saying I'm right, aren't you?
You're always right.
Yeah. And then after that, the DJ's watching some various CCTV sort of images, but the Daleks are watching those images, and then we meet Davros in a tube. Apparently it's Davros, but we think, obviously at this stage, I think it's Davros, played by the wonderful Terry Malloy.
Also,
I actually feel what
he was excellent in the story.
I just feel
he's also a nice guy, and this is the second best Davros performance.
Yeah.
What do you mean the second best?
Well, the best Davros
Mark Wisher
was
Genesis.
Wisher in the first.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Well, I always thought. I
mean, he's not just ranting.
I actually thought I loved Terry Malloy's Davros. No, I felt that he was, even though I'd seen other Davroses, he was my Davros.
But Michael Wisher did it slightly better.
Did he? Don't quite agree with that, but there you go. Right then we meet...
And the thing is, I don't remember... It's been a while since I saw Remembrance. Don't remember. So I need to see how Terry Malloy is in Remembrance again.
Which
we'll do in a few weeks.
And when I listened back to this episode and realised I said Resurrection of the Daleks when I went Revelation, yes, it is going to be a bit embarrassing, so I'd like to apologise to myself for saying that particular faux pas. Right then, so then we meet the two sort of people are on a mission to the body snatchers, basically. One of which
Gregory and Natasha.
Yeah, one of the body snatchers, just to show he's a medical bloke, because they all look like medical people, has a little red cross on his chest.
Did you hear the line when he says, "I'm a doctor, not a magician"?
Yes, that was Nick from the Doctor, wasn't it?
Thinking he's on the wrong show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Susan AOL Meda says, how have they been happening in this pandemic that you've done? I quite don't understand what she means by that. I think she might mean how's things going with the pandemic. We're sort of getting on with it, really, and it's very difficult, isn't it, trying to stay calm and ignore the idiots that go around wearing their face masks under their noses. Might as well not have it on at all. Just take it off and sling it in your bag. You're not going to wear it properly.
As of this morning, I'm self-isolating.
Are you? What? You've got symptoms?
I don't have symptoms of that, but I've got a viral infection of the conjunctiva, and so as a precaution, a doctor has told me to self-isolate.
Oh, fair enough. Yes, lots of ill bills on the show this week, and that's fortunately not me. I hope that stays the case. Yes, we've got Debbie's off ill, and Mary's off. Is she ill or is she working?
Oh, she's ill.
And
she ate a dodgy hamburger.
And Ian Bissett's off ill because he's doing the Cultum Collective. So, Terry Mars is
Collective is an excellent podcast.
I know it is, and did I say it wasn't?
No.
Well then, Lillian Robin said it's understandable whatever of the Daleks, because there's so many of the Daleks stories. And Terry Miles just posted a picture, a sort of emoji of a cup of tea. I don't know what he's trying to get on with. Back to the story. Right then, so so body snatchers are on a mission to snatch, and my slider won't move, so I'm a bit stuck at the moment. Here we go, it's moving again now. And so the Perry kills Scabby Face Man by clubbing him on the back of the head with a stick. Actually on the back with the stick, really. It wasn't even his head, was it? No, okay, I'll just talk to myself.
I pity the poor guy in the lake, though.
Sorry?
It would have been cold. No, that little lake there, the water.
Wasn't that him coming out of the lake?
I don't know, probably.
Yes, it must be him.
Yeah, I thought it might have been.
I pity that.
It's actually a very well insulated diver on a platform.
Thank you for that, Kirby. Eleanor Bron turns up on the show. Obviously, she survived her little scene with John Cleese in City of Death.
Exquisite.
Exquisite. And also survived making a film with the Beatles. 2 films, in fact. I believe she was in Hard Day's Night as well. It hasn't changed much, to be fair, from, if you look at her in the Help movie. Oh, for God's sake. Yes.
I know someone who wrote a quiz book on the Beatles. He should know.
Yeah, anyway, as I was trying to say, she hasn't changed much from Help. If you watch the film Help to this, she actually has aged rather well in 20 years, I think it was, in between the 2 productions. Susan AOL Meda says, nice to greet you. I go to prepare the food that will already be 2 o'clock p.m. here. Oh, they're lovely. I wonder if that's been automatically translated by TikTok. It's lovely to hear from people from Mexico. We've never had that on the show before. It's not as if we've had anybody from Australia or anything like that on the show, is it? We had some Russians on once upon a time.
I remember.
Oh, you remember that, dear? Okay.
I was on for that.
I've been with you for a long, long time.
Circumnavigating the globe here on the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast, and it's quite interesting.
I've circumnavigated the Isle of Wight with you, virtually.
Anybody in Mexico has heard of Doctor Who? Well, they have now.
All of 1 minute.
Yeah, so the body snatchers carry on heading to body snatch, and I love the way that obviously
they were body snatching.
They were. Eleanor Bron is sort of like smarming up to Davros and acts against it, and he calls him Davros on an open line. Don't call me that on an open line. As if nobody knows it's Davros, for goodness sake. Oh, I don't know. But she's been so sort of smarmy towards him. It's very, very amusing. And there is a scene with Joe Bell, who I do love his looks to camera when he thinks that Davros is watching him. Behind Joe Bell and the woman who fancies him's name is a bloke wearing a face mask. It just really sort of stands out now. It's actually a sort of dust mask. It's not a sort of face mask you'd wear in hospital, but it nevertheless is a face mask. Do you remember that bit, Kirby?
No. I was just looking for it. And
okay, I'll tell you when it is then on the DVD, episode 1, 18 minutes and 4 seconds in. This is great podcasting.
But he's got an NTSC copy.
No, I don't. Not anymore. Oh, there. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Not major part of the story, but just these sort of COVID
makes it pretty much
icons stand out.
I when we did this before, all I had was a digitized copy of my VHS, but since then I have upgraded.
Hey, right then. I do like the Tranquil Repose logo. It does remind me of something else, but I can't think what it reminds me.
That sort of reminds me of that logo, the Varus logo.
Oh, I suppose it does, really, yes. Anyway, moving on. So the Doctor and Perry argue their way to the wall of Tranquil Repose.
They're like a married couple.
Yeah, they are. And he's very rude to her, saying about her being fat when she isn't, when he's the porky one.
Yeah.
But she does actually call him porky or something like that, doesn't she? Nowadays, you're not allowed to make references like that about people's shape, sizes and stuff on such dramas, you know. It's a thing of its time.
Really? Why not? What if it serves a purpose?
Because it offends people. You're not allowed to offend people on most genres of whatever. You know, just not allowed to. And not unless it's
be a bit sensitive.
Yeah, not unless it's in context. Say it is a story about a specific, offensive thingy, so you have to show what it's like. Say, for instance, like with Roots. Remember Roots? The thing was the Alex Haley story, which was produced in the 70s, really good series, and then LeVar Burton produced it again more recently, and he made it more hard hitting and more like what the African slaves had to go through. Talking of it, you know that black Americans are called African Americans. Why aren't they called American Africans? Just like, it always made me think about that while I was musing about stuff the other day. Right then, so the body snatchers are... by the way, Perry breaks the Doctor's watch in a scene that has no bearing on anything past, present or future.
No.
It's just something that there can be a moan about. There you go. Right then, so the body snatch...
I wonder what was going on first when she's saying, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Yeah, you wonder what you wondered
what the hell are they talking about?
His pacemaker or something like that. I've got salt, I've got sweat going in my eye at the moment. Hang on, in the kitchen, how to dab it away before I go blind. That's better, I can see again. Yeah, so the body snatchers make their way in accidentally, because she more or less leans on this door and falls into a room that just happens to have a father in that's sort of in mid sort of conversion into a Dalek. I did like what they'd done with him and the sort of iconic sort of casing, which was
I think they cut a lot of that when they showed it over here.
They what? They covered it?
I think they cut a lot of that when they showed it on here.
Oh, that's a brilliant scene. Oh, God, I nearly got to say the sentence out then. Yes!
You are less than 2 hours away from where they filmed that wall, including the ferry ride. I don't understand why you don't.
One of these days I'll just completely ignore him and not get one of those cups of tea sentences out. Thank you for that, Kirby. Right then, anyway, so this scene in which she realises it's her father, and I'm not going to sort of gloss over it and we'll tell it too detailed, but the scene in which she ultimately has to kill him, she begs him to kill him. He begs her to kill him, is absolutely superb. Really, really cool. You do feel for it. The only thing I didn't like about it is that she wasn't distraught enough afterwards and sort of more or less sort of forgot it quite quick. I would think I'd been quite traumatised if I had to do that.
They used to do that on Doctor Who a lot, though, around that time.
Yeah. Master?
Yes?
How long does it take you to get to Portsmouth?
My goodness.
Well, why I'm actually bothering to answer that question, it would take about half an hour to get to Ryde, and then I'd have to park, and then probably about 10 minutes to park and get to the ferry terminal, then a half an hour ferry ride. So what's that? At the least an hour and a half, more likely 2 hours. Why?
The Tranquil Repose, the exterior building is the IBM building in Portsmouth. It's so close. I've got it on Google Maps in front of me.
How wonderful.
It would be so easy for you to go to where the styrofoam, what do you call it? Not styrofoam, polystyrene.
Call it what it's actually called. It's polystyrene.
What?
We call it what it's actually called, polystyrene. Just dabbing.
You notice I corrected myself.
Just about. Back to Doctor Who. Anyway, the next scene we meet. Is it Jacini? Oh, not Jacini. That was a previous story. What was it? Oh, William
Orsini.
Orsini. It was very similar to Jacini and Bostock.
And
Bostock, I can remember. I always think Bostock because it reminds me of the glue.
Bostic, yeah, the Bostic glue.
A cross between the glue and Baldrick.
Yeah.
And it's a bit Baldricky anyway, isn't it? And I think Blackadder had been on prior to this particular story. Anyway, so William Gaunt, we remember him from the Champions. He was a very iconic and really good actor. What?
Champions, you've got to watch the Champions.
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, look it up on YouTube. It's a very iconic series from the early 70s or late 60s, early 70s.
I enjoyed listening to the actor on the extras on the making of.
Talking about the extras on the making of, there's a Easter egg on the opening page of the DVD, which is quite interesting. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Which one is that?
It's the one where they got, well, now most of them are dead now, but the Dalek actors and Terry Malloy and that doing the voices of some of the characters.
It's fun.
Yeah. Anyway, Eleanor Bron is hiring Orsini. Have I got that right?
Yeah, Orsini, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hiring Orsini to kill
Grand
the
Knight of
Great
Oberon.
Healer. Pardon?
Grand Knight of Oberon.
Yeah.
Something like that.
He's great. He's cool. It reminded me a little bit like a Jedi Knight, to be fair, but a bit more sort of kick-ass. Anyway, she's hiring him to assassinate the Great Healer, i.e. Davros. And she gives him a bomb. And meanwhile, the Doctor and Perry have made their way into the cemetery, which I suppose you call it, where all the...
Master, I disagree. That is a memorial
Jesus
park. It just has
Yeah.
markers, not
Don't
graves.
care. Anyway, they're in there and they're wandering around. And...
It's actually just the pond outside of the IBM building.
yeah, okay. I'm gloss over the Joe Bell's speech to his staff. And
I have to answer the phone. Hey,
hey, we might get through the rest of the episode. Let's get this going, Robert. Woohoo!
Okay, so then
Hang on, no, I didn't mean for you to get it going. Yeah, so he's given the mission, and we get obviously the point that Bostock is extremely smelly. That would bother me. I don't think I'd probably tell him to spray a little bit of deodorant if he was my squire. But he's going to put up with
carry
maybe.
a can of spray around with you.
I did like the way he said about the stench of rotten flesh or something like that, wasn't it?
Yes.
He may smell of rotten
used to
flesh,
that.
but he's a good squire. Right, and then Davros.
Okay, I'm back.
Great.
And front and sides.
Woman that used to be an upstairs downstairs is called in for a meeting with Davros. Davros actually does say, "Oh, I like her. Let's bring her and have a chat with her." And he
that was
knows.
a good scene, wasn't it?
Yeah, he knows that she's in love with Joe Bell, and he hates
Wait,
Joe
are
Bell.
we in the second episode already?
No, we're not. He hates Joe Bell, so he gives her the mission to, because what does he offer her? Eternal life or something like that.
It says, "I'll take you
Eternal
into
life is a
Dalek."
Dalek.
Yeah.
Does she know it is as a Dalek?
Yes,
no,
it
that's.
says it in
Yeah.
front of him.
Oh, okay.
And wasn't that good shot when she's looking up and then the Dalek Eyestick comes into view? I thought that was so well done.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
what,
good.
what
It's
is
well
she
done.
going
It's well
to
directed.
do? Say no?
No, but
No.
I would say I'd probably say something on the lines of, "No, you're all right," and then sort of leave. Be fair. So she basically he hates Joe Bell. I think he offered it to Joe Bell and he said no, thank you, like I would have done. So he dispatches this girl whose name I forget to kill Joe Bell. So he just to show that she is loyal to Davros, the Great Healer, and will then become a Dalek. Meanwhile, beardy blokes have caught the body snatchers and made just poured alcohol down, or beaten them up a little bit, and poured alcohol down the Doctor's neck and not the girl.
Gregory.
And then a statue of the Doctor appears. Basically,
Polystyrene.
Is it? And the Doctor
It doesn't
starts.
appear. It's sitting there.
Yeah, I know. Right, they walk round the corner and it's there, and
It is so fake looking.
it is fake
I know,
looking.
and
Yes.
it wobbles around the wind as well.
Yes, well, I know how that feels.
And you see the gap in it where it's going to fall.
And it takes forever to fall.
Yeah, the Doctor could easily just have ducked out the side.
Lillian Robbins says.
Question.
Hang on, Lillian Robbins says Terry Miles posted a picture of teacup. Yeah, referring to Kirby's need to encourage our listeners to go off and make cups of tea. And Terry Miles says Perry doesn't know what a Dalek is, but did last week.
Bit of continuity there.
And
okay. I had a question. I just answered myself. They had come. They were showing these twice a week, and now they're showing them once a week again. I see.
Oh, hang on! I've got a puddle. I've got a battery sitting in a puddle of water. I think it's going to correct that particular issue. There we go. That's better. I nearly lost where I was. So the Doctor's sort of sulking a little bit. Oh, I thought I was going to live a bit longer than this. Oh, I thought it was good for a few more regenerations. And basically the thing falls on top of him, and we assume that's the end of Doctor Who. After all these years, we're not going to see any more Doctor Who because the Doctor's been crushed to death by a polystyrene
that almost
rendition of
happened,
himself.
since by this point that we already knew it was cancelled or suspended.
God. Well, they didn't know when they were making the story, though, did they?
No.
Anyway, this scene sort of stands out like a sore thumb. The scene where Joe Bell sort of pervs. I mean, if Mary's on the show, she would sort of be disgusted by the continual perving of people over Nicola Bryant. We don't do things like that on this show, do we, lads?
No,
Yeah.
never.
Well, Fred was also rather appalled.
What, by the perving?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, he does.
It was she who called me. She didn't realize I was doing the podcast.
Okay. But it's the way he tries to grab her face and stuff like that, and but the doctors are all right under the polystyrene, and gets up and
yeah. What is the explanation for him making it alive?
What?
Because it's not a proper thing.
I mean, even though we know it was polystyrene, how did the Doctor in the story survive being
It's a
crushed
science
by...
fiction
It was a
fantasy
setup, I
TV
think.
show.
No. They make mention that it's like it's fabricated, so it could just very well be actually polystyrene.
Oh, you mean it's actually... So the
It could
reason
be
he
what it
survives
says
is because it really
yes.
is polystyrene. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It says he says like the blood, it's staged.
Yes, there we go.
Right.
Thank you. Bit like Doctor Who in itself. Anyway, so
How did you get that blood on him? Where was that kind of thing?
he was eating a jam sandwich as the thing fell on him. Anyway, right then, so so the Doctor and Perry are welcomed into tranquil repose, and it's shown off to them a little bit. Just as Orsini and Bostock arrive to start sort of acting out their evil plan. Well, it's not really evil, is it, to be fair?
No.
The Doctor is... Perry wants to go and meet the DJ. And she's a bit freaked out by
I was surprised that she was not... that she went ahead and followed what's his name, even though he was perving on her, to get to the DJ. On TikTok, Motion James 08 says, "Hi, say hi to me. Hi to me." There you go. Hi.
Not you. It's
Hello.
talking about me. It wants me to say hi. It's my TikTok. Right then. Where are we up to? Right then. So, the Doctor is knocked out cold by a little tiny chop to the... What is he chopped to? The head? Back of the neck? I don't know. He's knocked out cold. And amazingly, Joe Bell doesn't take Perry to his bedroom. He takes her to see the DJ, who's very excited to see Perry, and they both struggle with their American accents, but never mind, it's quite a cute little let's make friends
He's not struggling
scene.
with his American accent. He's just putting it on for the
I know, but
people.
it's ironic that there's two British actors
English,
not doing particularly good American accents for that thing. Anyway, right then. So, Joe Bell is on the hit list for Davros, and she does admit that she's in love with him. I'm not saying she. I'm not talking about Davros. I'm talking about that. The girl that was in upstairs downstairs.
Jabel.
Yeah. What's her name?
I like Jabel.
No, the
And
girl.
Tasambika.
The Joe Bell is the ginger head. What?
Tasambika.
Tasambika.
I can never remember that.
It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
But it was funny. I like his line when he says, "I would rather run away with my mother than own a fawning little creep
He was
like
horrible
you."
to her. If I was her, I'd kill him. Anyway, the Doctor finds the two body snatchers and releases them, and Eleanor Bron and her little sidekick sort of start celebrating prematurely.
I like his line when he says, "I'm a past master at the double entry." Now, what is that supposed to mean? Ooh.
Now, Motion James 08 says, do you play Fortnite? I have played Fortnite, but I've tried playing it via my iPad and the Mac. And the Mac's a bit old to actually manage to play it fast enough. And I feel that it's easier to play with a controller. So I'm waiting to get my PS5. Then I can play it. But of course, when the time I get it, no one will be playing it, will they? But yes, I do like Fortnite. It's really good fun.
Is this the 20 megabyte Fortnite podcast?
No, it's a 20 megabyte stinking hot in here. Let's talk about everything that's available.
That's a weekly podcast there, Kirby.
And there's Cal184 says, do you COD? What does that mean? COD?
Call of Duty.
Oh, no, again, my daughter has all that gubbins, and it's not fair. I don't get her really looking with this game.
She plays Call of Duty. I wouldn't have
she
thought
does.
She would.
She does play Call of Duty, yes. Is that wrong? She loves it, which is good. And we got a call of actually at FantasyCon next October. That's October the 30th. A voice from Call of Duty.
A year from now.
Excuse me. What?
A year from now.
Well, over a year, actually. A voice, one of the voice actors from Call of Duty, Craig Fairbrass, will be at FantasyCon, which is an event I'm organising.
Right. I'm surprised that they haven't cancelled Conquistadores yet. Unless they haven't, I don't know.
It's still a long way off, Kirby, isn't it?
No.
Hang on. We've got stuff coming through on the Facebook feed. Terry Marr says he was perving over all the females apart from Tessam Beaker. Do you say that's her name?
Yeah, Tessam Beaker.
And then Lillian Robbins says Matthew is watching. You should get him on. I think Matthew's saving himself for the 7th Doctor episodes. Terry Marr says double entry bookkeeping. And then Robert Vance Jr. says hi everyone. Hi Robert. Right, back to Doctor Who. Right, I said about Eleanor Bron and her secretary celebrating a bit prematurely.
They were a double act, weren't they?
The secretary has a very...
There's 3 double acts in this.
The secretary has the best comedy death of the whole story. Just saying. And of course...
He discusses his death in the in the making of, but the other thing about his death is that there is no exterminate from that doctor.
No, there isn't. So basically, he broke contract. The Dalek broke contract by not saying exterminate. But this is one of my favourite lines, and the one I was going to use as a quote if I could have remembered to.
How inconvenient. Do you know how difficult it is to find good secretaries?
That should have been my quote. It's true.
The funny thing is about that quote is yesterday I was watching the Leslie Nielsen movie, The Naked Gun, the first one.
Oh, I love that.
And someone says exactly the same line. It's a trope.
But it's a trope, is it? Okay. Right then, I'm just waiting for it to catch up. Anyway, so she they don't do her in for some reason because obviously her contract was for the whole story. And so Orsini and Bostock make their way towards their target, but bump into the Doctor on the way. The Doctor tries to have a quick wrestle with Orsini to very little effect. Actually, to comedy effect, to be fair. Only I would have a fight with a Knight of Oberon or whatever. Anyway, they quickly make friends, and Tessam Beaker. Yeah, she goes off to plead with Ojo Bell for his I was going to say something rude then, for his manhood. Well, not in the way, you know what I mean. But of course, he totally rebuffs her, and she rather weirdly stabs him in the chest with a syringe full of green stuff.
In Australia, that was, I think, the end of episode 3. Yes. Because they cut it into 4 parts. But they really fudged up that bit so you couldn't really see what she was actually doing.
Oh.
They
think it was too violent.
Master?
Yes.
Miss Kirby.
They also filmed the entire thing. The director, what's his name?
Did you slap something then?
Graham Harper.
Is it Graham Harper, this story? No wonder it's good.
He wanted to show everything, the stabbing of it and the pushing of the plunger and everything. And they had all that set up to do it, and they filmed it.
Mm.
But the BBC said, no.
He says he didn't think they filmed it, though. He said they were ready to go, but they didn't film it.
Okay. But it was a good scene, nevertheless. And, of course, I take it you've seen it in its full glory now, Robert.
But, but did you notice they sort of made it a bit silly because when he leaned forward, you could see behind the apron that he's wearing, and you could see where the syringe was stuck into.
I didn't actually see that, to be fair. I suppose you have to be looking out for it. But I will say that
I wasn't looking out for it. I just noticed it when he leaned forward.
Sorry. But yeah, so anyway, she does kill Joe Bell, who has the second funniest death in the story.
Oh, I loved the way his toupee came on.
Yeah, that's really atmospheric. But again, great direction. for that.
Yeah, he discussed that in the making of that he loved that death.
Yeah. But anyway, she doesn't last long, does she? She kills him, grizzles about it for a little bit, and then gets blasted to smithereens by a couple of Daleks.
I believe it's another Dalek that does not say exterminate.
That's true.
Meanwhile, the DJ and Perry realise that they're sort of because the Doctor tells them that they're a target now. So instead of allowing Perry to run away, the DJ sort of holds her back and says, "Oh, don't worry, we'll do a bit of a standoff." And Orsini and Bostock arrive in what they think is Davros's lair and start blasting at Davros, and of course there's a big explosion and his head deflates. Of course it isn't really Davros. They turn round and Davros in his chair is in the corner, and so of course they couldn't start firing then, could they? It was a bit too late. Samuel Boss1 says hi on TikTok. Hello Samuel. And Robert Wench Jr. says, double crosses on again in this story. Yeah. Indeed. Anyway, so Orsini gets his leg blasted off by a Dalek. Terrible shot for that Dalek, though. Normally they're much better shot than that.
But also, if you have a look at where the Dalek gunstick was aiming compared to where the laser came out, it's fudged.
Yes, and also, not only is that rubbish shot Dalek only shot Orsini's leg off, it only shoots Bostock in the arm. So within a few frames of the episode, it's missed killing people twice. It's very un-Dalek-like. And then there's a scene in which Davros is floating. He's sort of like elevated slightly with this weird orange glow and electrifies Orsini, which is a really good scene, actually. Even though the special effects on it could have been a bit better, but they did what they could at the time.
Yes, right in here, we're starting to establish in these few shots that the Daleks have the ability of flying.
Yes, well, Davros is the first time we've seen Davros elevate.
And then when
Gregory and Natasha with those
they're
brains.
shot by a model Dalek, which is, if you look closely, it is up in the air, but you really have to look.
Kirby, didn't they? Because I watched the original version, but there is a CGI version. I think they actually fixed up the model shot so that it actually
I know there's a CGI version. I did not watch that.
No, I forgot to as well. So.
Anyway, so he sort of nearly got there.
I tend not to watch the CGI versions because I'm a classic Doctor Who fan, and it's only supposed to be the other way.
Anyway, back to the episode. So he tortures Orsini for a bit, just for the fun of it, because he's a knight of the whatever. And then
Night at the Round Table.
All hell breaks loose. Basically, lots of people die, and there's a homage scene to Back to the Future where the DJ uses his rock and roll gun to blast a few things, which is quite cool.
I don't understand how that's an homage to Back to the Future.
So when he strums his guitar in front of that huge amplifier and he gets thrown away.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought it was a homage to.
What does that have to do with his gun?
Because
it's exactly the same thing.
The speaker is a
boom.
Oh God. Yeah, Marty stands in front of this massive speaker, strums his guitar, and an explosion occurs. So it's a similar. He's using rock and roll as a power. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense to me.
Thank you, Robert. If I'd had a bell with me, you'd get a ding.
Oh, thank you.
Anyway,
why don't you get another bell?
Oh, I've got one somewhere, but I can't be bothered to get it. Right then, so
you know what you could do?
Alexa does a bell.
You could think about the companion of the Third Doctor and get a Joe bell.
Alexa, stop.
What's it?
Shut up, Robert. Naughty Robert. It's worse than having Kirby on the show.
Did you hear me?
No, I didn't, because Robert mentioned the A word, which then triggered the A itself to start playing a track by ELO. Now, can you be quiet mentioning the A word? Otherwise, there'll be severe
I said that you could think about the companion of the Third Doctor and get a Joe bell.
Oh, God. Laurie Nick says, hello, all you lovely hooligans. Hello, Laurie. And then she says, Sonic blasts were from Marty. As in, not a question mark, but there's an exclamation mark on the end of that one.
Yeah.
All right, moving back to Doctor. Anyway, Eleanor Bron turns up, and sort of feigns the idea that she was involved in this plot to assassinate Davros, and again, Miss Sliders. Yeah, but for some reason, Miss Sliders stopped working on the DVD software, so I'm going to have to use the fast forward button, which is not quite how I like to do it. Shut up. But there's a few little. Yeah, this Orsini's is told to prime this little bomb, and of course that calls the bluff of what's the name? Eleanor Bron. Right, I'm getting annoyed with this slider thing now, so I'm going to have to stop it. Oh my god, it's crashed. My DVD software's crashed.
What?
Right.
But I thought you had a Mac, and Macs are perfect.
Right. Shall we just see who makes the software for this? Unpublished works, it says. I don't know. Manufactured under license
supposed to work seamlessly,
from Dolby Laboratories.
Apple won't approve it.
Yeah.
Well, DVD is almost an obsolete medium, and this version of DVD player is from an older version of Mac OS.
Is a highly directional.
Look, see now it's come back with slider and sound. That's quite a good sound to actually get back. So I've got it back now. See it's how, Kirby, to see how quickly that reloaded and was ready again to work again. Just saying.
Mine will do the same thing. Want me to demonstrate?
Oh, Laurie Nix is getting distracted there. Laurie Nix says, what ELO track was she going to play? That's the $24 question. Nobody cares. Right then.
I do. I wondered.
No, you didn't. Right then. So ultimately,
would it be one of the ELO songs from the? Right.
No, Kirby. It's a song by Madness.
I forgot the name of the
Kirby.
A New World Record
story.
Kirby. It's a song by Madness. It's called Shut Up.
Ludo.
God's sake. Right then. So Eleanor Bron subsequently ends up getting stabbed by Orsini. And was that scene allowed in Australia, Robert?
Probably not.
Yeah, he stabs her quite.
It's a pretty good effect, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a typical stage knife effect. Perry and the DJ battle a few Daleks, and for some reason, unbeknownst to the writer of the show, after blasting the third or fourth Dalek, he gets up to celebrate, turns around and gets killed by a Dalek. At this point, you think that's it for Perry, and so's of the Doctor when he listens over the tannoy system. What have they got in the?
Can I mention something about the Daleks in this as well?
No. Oh, go on then.
Why are the Daleks like a couple of meters, a few yards away from each other when they fight?
Oh, my battery's dying. I'll be the end of the TikTok thingy now. Oh dear. Host is back. Make some noise. Right. Sorry, I missed the question because my TikTok, but me phone battery's running out, which means an end to the TikTok thingy. So I'd just to say to my TikTok fan, thank you for watching the my first ever live TikTok, and please join me again for the next one. Bye.
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 Right. So that's.
Can you plug it in?
You what?
Can you plug your phone in?
No, the plug socket's in behind me. Back to Doctor Who. Right then, there's a very cool keypad. I noticed they put together, which was a bit more like a sort of futuristic keypad, which the beardy blokes used to watch the arrival of, which I presume is some Imperial Daleks. And then the Doctor strides into the to Davros's lair.
It's probably just a standard remote control like they used in.
No, it was gold pads. It was really quite cool. It didn't look like a press pad thing. It was like a touch pad. I thought it was quite cool. Right, where we got it? Laurie Nick says, "Forgive me, Adam, I set them off again." And then Robert Wentz Jr. says, "Maybe the way the human Daleks acted because they were made out of human parts by missing on purpose." Good point, Robert. And then Robert Haynes says, "They trained..." pardon me, sorry about that. They trained with... Because I'm drinking and it's spontaneous. With stormtroopers. Anyway, thank you for that, Robert. Pay attention. Where do we get up to? Right then, so the Doctor, it has a very amusing scene with Davros, and I'm going to skirt through some of these particular bits because we see a scene in which Bostock tries to kill Davros and fails, and then he gets killed. But he does blow off Davros's arm just before he gets killed. Hand, whatever.
Hand, yes.
Which is very amusing.
I love the fingers on the floor there.
Yeah,
yes.
But also I thought was funny about that is that then Davros's arm becomes about 3 foot longer than it normally is as he's chosen.
I wonder why.
But it does, as I say, does result in Bostock's death, which also results in a bit of a sort of a scene where the Imperial Daleks turn up and arrest Davros, and the beardy blokes sort of in on that. Surprising they didn't kill them, really, to be fair, because Daleks don't like people, do they? So Davros gets taken away, and Orsini decides that he needs to blow everything up, so he sends them all away. It might be a little bit like the scene in Genesis of the Daleks where the Doctor only just makes it out of the catacombs. Sorry, Robert, what did you say?
No, I was just saying that the model shots were good, like with the Dalek ship and all that.
Yes, they were. Anyway, so they just get out of the thing before the whole place blows up. Perry thinks the Doctor's died and does a Doctor. But
I'm gonna go back and find out how many times she does that.
Davros gets away, and then the Doctor says, so I'm all right. The Perry says, I want to get away. I'm fed up with this. I want a bit of a holiday. Okay, I know. I'll take you to Blackpool. Didn't say Blackpool at the end of the episode, but we know it's Blackpool because of a big Finnish story called Nightmare Fair, which was supposed to be the next TV story.
By Graham Williams, producer.
Yes, but
as Davros shuffles his way out following the Daleks, Fred and I were both laughing because he's very obviously shuffling his feet.
Yes.
But yeah, you mentioned about Graham Harper. I've forgotten he was a director of this, and I was going to mention how good the direction was in it, but then
he was
goes
going
without
to come
saying,
back
doesn't
for
it?
They hired him to do one more of the classics, but he was unable to do it. He was going to do the King Arthur one, the
Battlefield.
Yeah, Battlefield.
Okay. He was going to do it, did you say?
He was going to do it, but unfortunately he couldn't. But of course, he was great coming back for the modern series.
Yes,
Yay!
thank you for announcing that in a very camp way. Thank you very much, Kirby. Right then, so this is what I think of Revelation of the Daleks. It's really, really good. It's a very atmospheric. The only thing I don't like about it is the music. It's very, it's boring and sort of someone sat on a keyboard rather than playing any music. It's not very good. But the actual story itself is very good. It is good. There's a bit of padding here and there. The Daleks are okay. They're a bit superfluous to the story, to be fair. There's some really good sort of scenery chewing by certain actors. But as a Doctor Who story, I think this is actually quite good. It's not the best sixth Doctor. Say seventh Doctor. It's not the best sixth Doctor story. But I do enjoy it, and it's quite sad considering that this was it for a year and a half before Colin Baker came back to.
Yeah, what do you consider the best Sixth Doctor story?
And what do I think is the best one? The one I enjoyed the most. That's a difficult one actually. I like the two Doctors, but then it's got elements of it that are a bit annoying. I think Rack of the Rani's quite good. I don't know. They're all. This is the best one. I haven't quite come to a decision yet. I'd have to go back and review the Sixth Doctor's era. We'll discuss it at
the end of the Sixth Doctor's era.
Yes, mopping my brow. But yes, I enjoy it. It's a good romp, isn't it? Really, it's a shame that, like I say, it was the end of a sort of
era.
An era of regular Doctor Who. A bit like what we're getting now, to be fair. We're not getting regular Doctor Who now, to be fair. Yeah. But anyway, what did you think about it, Robert? Will I pull my pin out of my chair, lean back, have a quick sip of water, and let you listen?
It's one of my favourite Sixth Doctor stories, actually.
It is.
And one thing that I do find a bit funny is that the whole first episode of Perry and the Doctor is just them arriving at the place. It's like they take so long to get involved with the actual plot. but it was okay with that kind of stuff. The one thing that I had planned to watch this over 2 days, and I started watching it on Saturday, and I actually was so engrossed that I watched to the end of episode 1, and I just started episode 2, and I just kept watching until I'd finished. So I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed watching it again. I think Graham Harper was really good for the show. I wasn't too bothered with the music. I thought, as Kirby's already mentioned, with the probably my second favourite Davros appearance with Terry Malloy. Of course, no one can sort of beat Michael Wisher, but also I think Michael Wisher had a better mask. I think it's funny that the mask, I don't know, his mask seemed to get lighter in colour and look less like the Wisher mask, which I preferred. But that's just...
You Wisher it was different.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But as I said, silly when you got Daleks a few yards away from each other and they're, shooting at each other. How could they miss?
They're stormtroopers.
But
as I said,
like Robert
Stormtroopers.
Vance Jr. says, maybe it's because the white Daleks are made from humans, and that the human element was making them almost deliberately miss.
Yeah, and I like the Soylent Green part to it with the, providing the food by killing off the dead and making them part of the food.
Ah, yes.
I thought the exterior shot where they tint them, their paint box machine looks quite cool.
Yeah.
As they, I think they use it even the next series that they do as well. Mm-hmm. But very effective. I think they use it up to the end of Koi's time as well, with the planet in survival. Yes, I really love it. It's probably one of my favourite Sixth Doctor stories.
Kirby, what did you think?
I really like this story. It is probably one of my favorite Sixth Doctors.
Which is essentially what I said.
I'm going to have to look at the entire list to decide if there's one better.
There's not much of a list.
No, but we haven't seen them all yet.
True. Yeah, but we haven't seen them all yet.
I have.
I can tell you that. Well, I have too.
We haven't seen them in order.
I have.
I don't think that I'm going to include any of the Mel stories.
Wait and see.
Well, yeah, we'll have to see. But I really like this one. Joe Bell is just so icky.
Yeah.
But he's a great character. But
yes.
Ew.
Yeah.
The only disappointment is Tassin Baker or whatever her name is.
Yeah. Tassin Baker.
Yeah. She's just not a very good actress, and I don't. It's been so long since I saw Upstairs Downstairs. I don't remember her.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think she was in the later series.
The later one. Okay.
Yeah, not in an earlier one. The ones leading up to when it stopped. The original Upstairs Downstairs, rather than
See, that's the only one I've seen.
Remake.
Yeah, that was popular in America, wasn't it? Upstairs Downstairs. It's one of the few British programs of the era that was actually popular in America.
What was really popular was the Roman thing. The
I Claudius.
I Claudius was popular when I was in high school.
I've been looking out for that, and it doesn't seem to be available on things streaming. Streaming things.
I've got it on DVD.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I've got it on DVD.
Love it. I haven't watched it for years, but I must watch it again. I'm surprised they've not remade it. To be fair.
Yeah,
no, the original is perfect. Anyway, back to Revelation of Daleks. Just a really good story. I quite enjoyed it. I particularly enjoyed the fact that since then I got a copy of the DVD version. So,
thank you, Kirby.
I didn't have a chance to watch it with either infotext or the commentary this time, but I've very definitely will, because this is a Sixth Doctor story that I will go back and rewatch anytime.
It is good. It's one of the better Dalek stories as well, to be fair. Yeah.
Okay, I'm
and like you said,
of Six Doctors.
You did point out.
How much is there?
No, but I'm saying you did point out about Terry Malloy's portrayal of Davros. I feel that he's my favourite Davros. I know there were others, but I just feel. And you said about the mask, that the actual Davros face. I like Terry Malloy's mask. I think it's they use it obviously quite regularly, so he looks like Davros for more stories when Davros is in a story. But yeah, I really like Malloy. Does he still do Davros on Big Finish?
I don't know.
Hey?
What about Big Finish?
Terry Malloy, does he still play Davros on Big Finish?
I can't remember the last one that he did, but
has he done
quite
it?
A few.
He has done quite a few. Okay,
he
just wondered.
He did an I Davros actually.
No, did he?
Yeah, but he had the Davros mission. He was in the Juggernaut.
You don't have to list them. I just wondered if he still did it. Anyway, right then. Sorry.
He might not have done any for a while.
Okay, that's right. He's done them though. That's the point. I was
the ones that he's done, he's been excellent in.
Right then. So Kirby, you did a request for feedback.
I did. Yes, I did. I was late. Sorry. I hope you didn't notice.
I didn't, and you probably knew I wouldn't as well, didn't you?
Okay, let me find it. Oh, there you are. Feedback time. There's lots of feedback. Robert Wentz Jr. says a head above the rest. And a picture of the Davros in the TARDIS console thing. He also says they were all out of marble, so I told them it was okay to use foam. By the way, I do like the matching blue coats.
Yeah, that's a nice color blue.
And then there's Laurie Nix has a link to a YouTube video of Alexei Sayle and the young ones.
Yeah.
And she also says, seen there with our fave Santarin and friend of the podcast.
Yep. Christopher
Robert
Ryan.
Wentz Jr. review of Revelation of the Dalek, or more cha-ching for Terry Nation. I'll start out by saying
dead by the time this came out.
Lots better than Time Bash. It has a horror feel to this. Yeah. Davros is turning people into Daleks from his evil lair in a funeral home as the great healer. First, the sad part, I just didn't like the DJ. When I see him, it reminded me of the David Bowie video, I'm a DJ. He just seems so fake. Well, that's the purpose. Also, I'm wondering if there's a plot to the story or pieces put together. I like the duo of Orsini and Bostock. They were fun. They reminded me of the pair from Rogue One, a Star Wars story, the blind one and the heavy
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
This story has a connection to future stories like the two-parter Parting of the Ways and the one where Clara is turned into a Dalek, but I don't know it. I got a kick out of Clive Swift as Joe Bell, who creeps Terry out. Also Colin Spall, who later down the road appears as a Cyberman recruiter in 2006 Cyberman two-parter. Also, the Doctor and Davros have a talk before everything goes south. Poor Miss Tassenbeaker should have given up on Joe Bell because he didn't care for her. The music was a little Blade Runner-like to me. In the end, the Doctor said they could support themselves with soybean-like flowers. That's the end of Tranquil Repose and the end of the 45-minute format, which would return in 2005. My rating, a 3 out of 5.
Oh, not too bad.
And I posted a picture of me sharing a boat with Andrew Cartmel, Fraser Hines, and Colin Spall about 3 years ago.
Name dropper?
Huh?
Name dropper?
Okay, Debbie Melrose, whoever she is. If I can't make it on tonight, for which I apologize, maybe Adam Pearson should take me off the banner, LOL.
No chance.
I think the story was confusing but very enjoyable. I've always loved Alexei Sayle, and I remembered his DJ for my first time watching this as a 7-year-old. Davros is always wonderful, and I love his head-to-head scenes with every incarnation of the Doctor. It's creepy, gross, according to Isla, who did not like the chap being turned into a Dalek. And for the first part, I was more worried about Perry running on ice and snow in those heels than falling statuary.
Yeah.
The conversation about traveling to places after you've technically died and the Doctor facing his possible end in this regeneration had an awful foreshadowing about it. Yeah. Colin Baker's Doctor is a revelation, pun intended, and a strong supporting cast brings all the loose ends together. Eleanor Braun is, as always, iconic, and the whole tone was creepy yet colorful. Looking forward to the rest of Colin's tenure and hoping to be back on form with you all very soon.
Yes, us hope that too.
Mrs. M. She should have said exquisite.
She should have, yes.
Neil James. Revelation of the Daleks. It's obvious from the very early on the story has been graced with a good director. Yes.
Yep.
The shot of Perry exiting the TARDIS and stumbling down to the stream is stunning. I love all the location stuff in the snow. The mutants' makeup looks wonderfully horrible, and the Doc and Perry look great in their blue outfits of mourning. Yep. The story itself is okay, but not hugely memorable, and the pace is way too slow. It takes the Doc the entire first episode just to arrive at tranquil repose.
That's what I was saying.
I do like that Davros was using his head in a jar as a decoy. He's an evil bastard. The acting is a bit of a mixed bag. I like the performances of JoBel, Orsini, Bostock, and Kara. Sadly, I find the actress playing Tassenbeaker to be really terrible, but hey, it's all subjective. Do I enjoy the DJ?
A few years ago.
Do I enjoy the DJ? I'm not really sure. I find his inclusion in the script to be just so weird. Why?
Yeah, I did think about that at the time, but when you watch,
I want to say something about that when I'm done with this.
Yeah, sorry, but it just reminded me of that a new series that's on Prime. Was it Upload? I think it was Upload.
Oh yeah.
And they do a similar thing on that, where obviously the people their consciences are uploaded to a computer, and it's a similar sort of thing to that. They're sort of like entertaining the dead in a weird sort of way. But I can understand in some way why they would do that. Yeah, but not necessarily with Alexei Sale.
Neil James continues. A few weeks ago, I mentioned a sense of violent nastiness to a lot of this season. I do see it again here in Revelation, but I still quite like it. It's become clear I'm not a Six Doc fan, but I haven't found watching the season too much of a trial. 3 stars out of 5.
That's not too bad.
Robert Wentz Jr. says, great review, Neil. I've always enjoyed reading them. I'm not a fan of Colin Baker. He's okay. I'm a Tom Baker and David Tennant fan. Script from Ian Kirk. Never heard of him. Lori Nix says, don't really know why I'm suddenly liking Sixie's weird-ass run more than I traditionally did. But maybe it's because when silly weird-ass blank blank T is directed well and you have some epic supporting cast people, comedians generally, it doesn't have to make sense or have top-notch effects to be a fun ride. Alexei Sale is everything in this one. Where's my rock and roll gun, Daddy-O? One thing I discovered during the making of is Alexei Sale, during rehearsals, was not doing this over-the-top DJ thing. And to the point where J&T was going, why did you hire him? He's horrible. And Graham Harper asked him, well, what's going on here? And Sale said, wait until that camera turns on, then you'll see.
Saving his performance for
saving his performance, and that's exactly what we see.
Yeah.
So I liked his performance as the DJ.
Yeah, it was a departure from the Alexei Sale we knew from. He always played this bit of a thuggy type character, especially in the young ones.
I only know him in a couple of things, so
he's very sort of an angry stand-up comic. So he actually had a softness to him as the DJ, and that was quite interesting.
When he was doing his ordinary voice to Perry.
And also with being, even if he was doing his DJ stuff, that was very un-Alexei Sale-ish. It was nice because he was playing a character, and it was not a character we'd seen him play up to that point.
Well, I like when he did things like saying, it's getting really weird around here.
Yes.
Yeah, which is true as well.
That almost sounds like a Meeseeks line.
Right, has anybody sent anything through on the 20 megabyte chat page in regards to feedback?
You check that.
Don't think so.
No, I just want to make sure, but before I move on to Terry Miles.
Oh, you mean here?
on the chat page, not our personal
I don't
co-presenter
think so.
chat page
No,
on Messenger.
Did Mary?
I don't think anyone did. I'm just asking you. So
No,
while
I
you're
didn't
looking,
notice anything.
Theoretically, you have something from Ian.
yeah, of course I do. Can I carry on? Terry Miles says, "Hi everybody. With this being
Hello.
the last show as the BBC cancelled it, I was not too happy that it was the Pepper Potts again, but the story was very good. The things that stand out for me are real snow, none of your fake stuff. Wow. Where did the mutant in the pond come from if they're only using the dead as food? More on that later. The phrase, I'm a doctor, not a magician, go McCoy. That's the Star Trek thing, in case anyone has heard it before. Alexei Sayle acting his normal restrained self for the 1980s was great to see. Davros saying, shut that fool up. Linda asked me,
Yes.
what did he
that.
say? I'll admit I wasn't too clear. Is that your real accent? Great one, Perry. Well, it made me chuckle. Loved that Imperial stormtroopers, Daleks, couldn't hit the side of a barn from 6 foot away. The Doctor saying, take a real holiday. They knew what was coming. And the famous phrase, I'll take you to blank. Adam, please tell me we don't have to wait 18 months for the trial of the Time Lord. No, don't, funny enough. I was watching this for the second time only, as it annoyed me that it was going to be the last ever show. This time we both enjoyed it. Stay safe, everyone. Terry Miles. Thank you, Terry. There is some stuff from a certain Mr. Butcher. Good grief.
Give it to Robert.
Might better manage that one myself. Right. Right, we'll do it now.
Take a drink of water first.
No, it's just surprised me, but rather shocked. Okay, this is Alan T. Butcher's feedback. Dave's Rossburgers or Ruby's Revenge due to a temporal instability over the last couple of days, which has caused an age shift. Regrettably, the full text of the above title thoughts are not yet available. Alan T. Butcher will return in the next episode, also incorporating Doctor Who and the hiatus of distress, or justice delayed is justice denied. There you go.
In other words, he didn't give us a standard closely studied.
No, I think we might already have a closely studied for this somewhere in the archives of the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast. I wait eagerly for his next communication. But we do have this.
Well, hi there, 20 Megabyte Podcast.
Hello, Ian.
This is Ian Kirk.
Hello, Captain.
On the 9th of August in 1173, construction began on a bell tower in Italy, now called the Leaning Tower of Pisa. They did not call it that when they started building. Revelation of the Daleks by Eric Sayward. There's a large sculpture of the Doctor, made as part of the plan to lure him to silent repose. It is made of styrofoam or polystyrene or perhaps yosemite. Davros turns some corpses into Daleks, some into food. Either way they end up in tin cans. Lots of underground passages, again. The DJ is played by English comedian Alexei Sayle.
Stop.
Americans don't like him, though they don't know he's a communist. High death count in this one. Of the main cast, Davros and the 2 funeral executives survive. The last word of the story was going to be Blackpool, as the next story was going to be set there, but the season was scrapped. Blackpool is a seaside resort with a fun fair and a roller coaster. Well, at least the DJ got exterminated.
You gotta tell him Silent Breed is people!
Bye for now.
Thank you, Ian. I'm sorry I had to turn that down, but I got a bling blong noise of doom from upstairs because it was too loud, so I just turned it down a bit, so just to sort of make the peace. So that's sort of it for feedback. I don't think there's anything else come through, is there? Let's see what's coming through on the live.
Did Ian send
Ian's
something?
feedback.
Visit?
What? Oh, Ian's
Visit.
feedback.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Where'd that come through then? Anyone?
Oh, that's right. We now have 2 Ians. We've got too many Ians.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Ian Bissett's feedback. So where did he
was
send
gonna
that?
send some,
in
wasn't
Dropbox.
he?
Ah, I have it.
Is it?
I'm downloading it.
And is there anything on the on your broadcast, your Facebook Live thing?
Well, while it's downloading Ian Bissett's feedback, we have. Oh, it's actually coming through on the live feed. How weird! It's actually coming through properly today. All right, what we got here? Hang on, where did we go? It's quite a lot here. I've got to go back to find out where I ended off. Maybe the way the human. I've done that one. He seemed like it, didn't he? That was Robert talking about now. Davros was just ahead in the. Sorry. Now was Davros.
That's in the next Davros story.
Yeah, he's just ahead.
Yeah. Because that's all you ever see of him inside that little.
Yeah, it's a similar setup, isn't it? But he doesn't get killed in the same way, or killed as in inverted commas. Laurie Nick said, "Ick, you put that out there into the ether remaking I Claudius. No, never remake I Claudius. Well, there's loads of things they shouldn't have remade, but they did."
It's true.
Laurie Nick says, "Debbie Melrose, if you are watching, sending lots of love and positive vibage." And then Robert Vance Jr. says, "Missing Mary." Oh, she'll appreciate that.
You know, we ought to say what Mary probably thought of this.
Do you know what Mary thought of it?
I don't remember, but I strongly suspect she hated it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Poor Mary. Yes, that's the. Oh yeah, we were talking about the feedback from Ian. Right then, let's see if I can get this.
From the other Ian.
Yes,
Ian too.
Ian Bissett. I'm just going to find it in my downloads folder. Biscuit, did you say?
Biscuit?
Yes.
Yes, please. Right then, hang on, I've got to find me. Oh, date edit. There it is. Here we go.
Hello, everybody. Ian, the Sixth Doctor here. Yes, I'm currently on location filming at the Cauldron Collective. What is it with Doctor Who podcasts and 2 o'clock on a Sunday? I have no idea. Anyway, I'm here for my review of the Revelation of the Daleks. Yes. Actually, I'm going to do a bit of a story, then a quick review, so bear with me. My introduction to the Sixth Doctor was this story. Because in New Zealand, we hit the 25th anniversary and we're still behind in watching Doctor Who. So, the 25th anniversary, while everybody was watching Silver Nemesis, we watched The Five Doctors and some other assorted Doctor Who stories. Plus, we got a glimpse into the future of Doctor Who and got to see Sylvester McCoy in Silver Nemesis, but we also got to see Colin Baker in Revelation of the Daleks. So, this is my introduction to the Doctor and the Sixth Doctor and Perry. And I watched the entire thing, although I did see pictures of the colour code, so in black and white on my uncle's TV in his shed, because I was supposed to be doing my homework. But it was at this point that I decided that I was either going to find a Doctor Who fan club or start one of the two. And so that was kind of where my journey into Doctor Who fandom started. Until then, I'd just been watching the show. And I really do think that Colin Baker for me was a turning point into fandom. There was something about this particular Doctor. I got landed with him. This is where I picked up after seeing, Peter Davison not even doing Androzani. So I did a full leap from kind of Five Doctors into seeing Colin Baker strutting his stuff and going head to head with Davros. It's a fantastic story. There's some fantastic characters in it. We've got an intergalactic hitman with a heart of gold. It's fantastic. We've got a couple of different versions of Davros. And we've got Alexei Sale which to me was really, really cool because my older brothers were into The Young Ones and Alexei Sayle and Ben Elton and all that. And so to see that was kind of some cred for the show, is that, you know, Alexei Sayle was playing a DJ on Doctor Who. To me, that was kind of, that was big stuff. It wasn't Richard Bryars. I mean, Richard Bryars is fantastic, don't get me wrong, but my mum and dad watched Richard Bryars. I knew who Alexei Sayle was, and they didn't. So yeah, there's some fantastic acting, and just to kind of self-promote. Dave from the Colton Collective and I have never met face-to-face, but we have shaken hands through Colin Spall, who appears, of course, in this episode. Colin and Dave met at a convention, and then, well, actually, I met Colin at the convention in Orlando, and then said, well, if you're going to be at this convention, Dave's going to be there, would you give him this for me? And I shook Colin Spall's hand, and he goes, what, a handshake? I'm like, yeah, we've never met face-to-face before. So yes, when he went to Manchester, he shook Dave's hand for me. And then later on, when he came back to Timegate /Hulanta, we met up again, Colin Spall and I, and had a glass of whiskey. A wonderful man. It was great to see him in Doctor Who, of course, in this and the new series. It's a fantastic story. I mean, I really kind of like it. It's the Daleks being sneaky, the whole see-through Dalek thing with the human and stuff. That's dead scary stuff. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this, apart from the phrase frame at the end for Blackpool, because just of all the connotations that brings up of the, you know, the missing, the missing season. But, you know, we kind of have that back now, and so all's well that ends well. And Wally got to see his story made into something before he passed on. So I don't know why I went all the way to the end of that thought pattern, but thank you guys for indulging me. I've made it almost to 5 minutes, which is kind of halfway between what you guys have requested, so, or at least thought was mildly tolerable. I'm assuming that Kirby has been calling Adam Great Healer all day.
Missed out on that.
Okay, yeah, I guessed that one right. All right. Well, I will hopefully be back with you all next week if y'all have me. So until then, see ya.
Thank you, Ian. No, it's really good.
Great healer. Great healer.
Oh, God.
Great healer. Yeah, I might have. I wonder if I've actually met Ian, because I didn't realize that he'd been to a Timegate /Hulanta. I went to the last 4 or 5 of them. So
there you go.
We might have met.
You might have to try and exchange memories to see if you have. Robert Vance Jr. said missing. Well, obviously he said missing Mary. Now he's then added and Ian Bissett, and then Laurie Nick said tut tut, never can have too many Ians. There you go. Right then, now I was going to consider doing a quiz. The problem being, as I've had the bell of doom from upstairs, I'm thinking that I might be pushing my luck a little bit to get a bit noisier.
Yeah, I don't think we should do the quiz.
I don't think we should, for the sake of the show and its future. I
like
think
the
we'll
quiz,
knock
but
the
we
quiz
need more people too.
on the head.
It doesn't work with 2.
It's not too bad with 2, but I think we'll.
Well, I get a better chance to win that way.
Yeah. Yeah. So yes, for the sake of people who are upstairs currently poaching in the bed or on it, we'll agree not to do the quiz this week. So if anybody who felt. Well, she's gone. Yeah, she has gone to bed. She's, I think she has anyway. Well, she used the bell of doom, i.e., the ALEXA drop-in method to let me know that she wasn't too happy. You're lucky she didn't say anything, as it would have been something I would have had to edit it out of the show. Right then, so.
And when's the last time you edited it?
Oh, I do occasionally have to find something to edit out, but not very often. We're professional enough that we can do the show off the cuff. Hey, that rhymes.
And besides, now you have 2 live versions out there.
Yeah, I don't know how many actual listeners we've got, but I would like to give a shout out for my TikTok account, because I've got over 1,000, which when you get over 1,000 TikTok followers, you get the option to do live videos, which I rather like doing. But it's only just over 1,000, so I'd like you, please, fans of the show, support me on TikTok. Even if you're not on TikTok, join TikTok. You don't have to do videos. You can just go on there to follow people, and go on there, follow my account, which is Adam Pearson _
And the Chinese government will hack
be
all
quiet.
your details.
Adam Pearson _ IW. That's all. With the Adam Pearson bit is one word, _ IW. And then you can like my videos and maybe watch the live stuff whenever it goes out.
Put a link on the Facebook group.
Just say hello. I'll talk back to you. So please do that. Please support me on. Even if you, like I say, if you're not on TikTok, join it. Just there are some funny videos on there. Just don't tell Mary that you've done it. But yeah, so I'm quite keen on maintaining the amount of followers I have, at least, or even building on it, because I do really enjoy TikTok. Even though my jokes aren't particularly funny, they're almost up to Kirby's standard of jokes. I enjoy writing them. They're very pun based, that's why they're not funny, but I do enjoy writing them, and it's an avenue for creativity for myself, having been a writer of a comedy book or two, to able to just dabble in very quick funny videos of various genres. I'm also trying to go through all of my wedding videos to find funny moments that we've shot at weddings and drop them into the TikTok video pool, along with other things, cute videos of the dogs and old films of the children when they're a bit younger being funny, and anything I find on my video archive, because I occasionally stumble across things, I'll TikTokify it and put it on the account. So there's all sorts of difference. I do know, and I am aware that I do need to do more Doctor Who things on it. I haven't done a lot on there, but hopefully, us doing the podcast live on there sort of will grab a few Doctor Who followers. What's this? Lillian Robin, I hope I can continue doing TikTok videos. Why can't you continue doing TikTok videos, Lillian? Lillian's on TikTok. Everybody follow Lillian and myself on TikTok. And then Robert Vance Jr. said, met, loss, not last. What does that mean? Met, loss, not last. I've lost that one. Right, so we have whowon.co.uk.
What's that?
Whowon.co.uk. Coming soon stuff.
You mean whowon.co.uk?
Dinner and a show, which is a Torchwood audio featuring Gareth David Lloyd, who was supposed to be coming to FantasyCon. We're hoping he'll still come next year, so we'll keep our fingers crossed on that one. And The Fury from the Deep DVD reconstructed.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure if that's on BritBox or not, but that's another thing I'd like to watch. It's a shame it didn't come out when we were in that, when we were looking at that part of the journey. But it's almost like if something happens. I know the story, but I can't remember it, so I'll watch it again. Lovecraft Invasion, which is by Robert Valentine, so a Big Finish audio, and the Reconnaissance Dalek figure. These are all available on pre-order from Who Won. Heroes. Now, I recently purchased some rather fab stuff off Heroes, especially by Back to the Future scene of the dock with Clock Tower. But more recently, I've asked them to put by the Iron Spider figure, which is when Spider-Man had the iron suit on, with his sort of tentacles out and everything. Are they tentacles? What legs have? Is it legs or tentacles that spiders have?
Legs. I think Dr. Octopus had the tentacles.
Yes. Alexa, front room light on. It's just got very, very dark in here all of a sudden. So
my Alexa just said, sorry, I couldn't find a device called front room.
Oh well, never mind. I'm just looking at their page because obviously they don't just sell Funko Pops, but Funko Pops, I thought they'd be gone by now, because they have been around for a while, pop vinyls, and they seem to still be going from strength to strength. I think it's because they keep on bringing out things of
different ones, yeah.
of genres and things that keep people interested in it. When I just recently got my Saru figure from Star Trek Discovery, so now I have the two Discovery figures, which is quite nice to have up there. I got 11 elevated from Stranger Things. Upstairs in the attic, I've got Ben from Umbrella Academy, which I intend to bring down and put on my shelf because I love Umbrella Academy. The series that's just come out is so good. I love the first series. The second series,
what is it?
It trounces all over the first series in brilliance. But it makes you want to watch the first series again.
Robert just asked what it was.
What? Umbrella Academy?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a Netflix series about a group, a very, very dysfunctional family, shall we say, of people with special powers, superpowers, in fact.
Okay.
And there's timey-wimey stuff going on there in it, and time travel, and it's just so good. It's got everything for me in it. It's just got. Obviously, anything that they don't do is travel to other planets, but I'm not bothered about that. It's the characters are great, the acting is great, special effects are amazing. It is absolutely brilliant. So I'd highly recommend anyone to watch Umbrella Academy. I would say try and get through episode 1, because it's always difficult, episode 1 of any new series of anything. To actually get into it, but Stranger Things episode 1 was difficult to get into, but it's good for a rewatch.
Yeah, that's the reason I don't watch Stranger Things. I couldn't get through the first episode.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. If you can, it's good for a rewatch. When you've watched all of Stranger Things, go back and watch episode 1, and so much falls into place with episode 1.
And a similar thing just happened with I was introducing Fred to Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and she didn't really like the first episode, and she's not. And that first one's a two-parter, so she agreed
I've never
to watch
seen it.
the second part, and she's still not quite sure, and yet it's brilliant.
Yeah, but like I say, persevere with Stranger Things. But for me personally, I know I had an argument with Isabella about this.
Stranger Things is good.
Well, since I'm self-quarantined, I may have a chance to do that, since I'm going to be stuck down here in the basement a lot longer than normal.
Yeah, but like I say,
I am going to be
in the basement.
Huh?
Persevere with Stranger Things.
I am going to be working, but
I would. If you've already watched episode 1 and you want to watch it as a series, go back and rewatch it. Just stick with it.
Oh yeah, it's been like 3 or 4 years since I tried watching it.
Yeah, and a similar thing with Umbrella Academy. Umbrella Academy is they go backwards and forwards in time and in their own timeline and anything. But you quickly get into it and you quickly fall in love with the characters, and it's very rewatchable because it's because you fall in love with the characters. That's why you want to rewatch it, and that's the key to loving a particular genre, isn't it? It's that love of the characters and love the way they speak and the way they interact with things. For me, for example, Back to the Future, I've watched it so many times, but because I just love the whole world of Back to the Future. I'm quite happy to watch those things over and over again. And Umbrella Academy has that rewatchability. But yeah, persevere with it. It's so good. I'm
have to check it out.
It's brilliant. Absolutely love it. Isabella watched it when the new series was launched last Friday, and watched the whole lot twice in one day. So there's 10 episodes twice in one day. Yeah, she's a naughty girl. But anyway, so yeah, pre-orders available at Heroes. Probably best to go there. You've got to bear in mind, of course, that international shipping isn't available yet, so this is very much for people in the UK. They've got, what's this, the Funko Pop Vinyl HIMYM. I don't know what that is. It's I don't know what, is that a program? HYMYM? I don't know. Somebody will probably tell me. There's the Stay Puffed Marshmallow
Man from Ghostbusters.
Indeed. That's coming out very soon. So yeah. That's iwheroes.co.uk. See, I had to say that one. That's iwheroes.co.uk. And our friends at Lavazzi have a Doctor Who blog. which you may want to get involved in, and you also want to sign up for their newsletter, because that's where you hear of new products and offers on current products, including a scarf, which here in the UK you certainly wouldn't need at the moment because it's so roastingly hot. So there's our sponsors, everybody. Next week,
nice and chilly here.
We will be talking about is it the Mysterious Planet, the first episode of the...
Yes.
Yeah, so Mysterious Planet next week.
Or Trial of the Time Lord episode.
Trial of the Time Lord.
No, I refuse to call it that.
Same
here.
Well,
okay, it's the Trial of the Time Lord series arc, featuring the story we're going through from that arc.
You call it the series arc, but
Mysterious
Planet. Some people tend to go like all the way through. It's episode 28 or whatever. No.
Well, at least we're back to the 25-minute format until we talk about New Who.
But mind you, I don't know whether you heard when I was talking about my review of Revelation that I watched all of Revelation of the Daleks in one go, and because I'd only intended to watch it over 2 days, but watched it all at once, and I didn't notice the time go by. So.
Yeah, Revelation's good. I mean, Doctor Who is good at the moment. It's just you can't understand.
And I can watch my DVD set for it too.
Good.
I mean, my Blu-rays.
I do get the feeling watching the current stories that I really can't understand why they hiatused it, because it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
To be fair,
I think it's just.
It's Michael Grade and his issues with science fiction.
Yeah. It's a shame. Anyway, right, what we got coming through here. Lillian Robbins says the orange idiot is trying to ban TikTok from the US. Well, he's trying, but he hasn't succeeded yet. So much for free speech. Isn't that one of the amendments? I don't know, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but it's to do with the owned by
yeah, because it's owned by China, and he's got a thing against China. Okay, it's ridiculous. Laurie Nick says, TikTok, Adam. What next? A Discord account? What's Discord?
Discord is a video game... social media site.
Oh, is that an implication that TikTok's for gamers?
No, actually, I'm on Discord, but we have a Doctor Who group on there. So
I've never heard of it until she mentioned it.
I've got a Discord account, but I almost never go on there. I got one when I was playing Pokemon Go, because our local Pokemon Go group was communicating using Discord.
No, I've never heard of it until you mentioned it. When I was playing Pokemon Go, I used our local Facebook group.
I'm on a Doctor Who group there, so yeah.
Robert Vance Jr. says, first season of Buffy is different from the second season. Some things are toned down, like some of the jokes and humour.
I've never seen it.
I got to interview SMG for the movie I Know What You Did Last Summer, and asked her about Buffy season 2.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Okay. Laurie Nix, no. What does that mean? I see. She says no about the gamer question that I asked. Then she says it's just what kiddies do now. Well, I'm not a kiddie, although my wife says I am. Laurie says just teasing, sweetie. Right then. So next week, like I say, it's a Mysterious Planet from Trial of a Time Lord as we move to the end of the 6th Doctor era. I do hope that Ian Bissett decides to hang around for the 7th Doctor era, don't you, lads?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he only doing this because he calls himself the 6th Doctor?
I had that feeling, but I might be wrong. I hope I'm not. I am. Well, I hope he hangs around for the when we move into the 7th Doctor era, which isn't that far away now. For 5 more stories, is it? Mysterious Planet.
The end of the classic era is not that
Terror
far
of the
away.
Vervoids.
I know, it's frightening.
Yes, we've actually got
it's very frightening that we've done this.
4 more stories left of the 6th Doctor era. Oh. Anyway, right, so thank you, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed the show this week. I hope you continue to do so. Don't forget to
we're nice and early this
add
week,
me and like me on TikTok, and keep sending in the feedback for the show. And until next week, hopefully.
Can you put a link or a
link?
Info for about TikTok on the Facebook page.
I did,
perhaps.
but it sort of upset Mary, so I took it off. Anyway, so, she's not on the show this week. I thought I might get away with it. Anyway, so until next week, thanks for listening, watching, and taking part in the show. Please continue to do so. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Fancy Pants.
Scarecrow.
20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast is an APV Services production sponsored by whowon.co.uk and lavazi.co.uk. We are a proud member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance. Doctor Who is a trademark of the BBC. No copyright infringement intended.